Hello everyone. How my kids are doing?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Vaibhav. How are you?
I'm fine.
So how was the week been?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening. Good evening. So you got enough time, right? Last time I was sick and I cancelled the class. So I am expecting today everyone is ready with the answers, right? Like I can ask anything and you can just come up with wonderful answers. So shall we
Yes,
start?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So last time we just saw what is citizenship as per the Constitution of India. Okay. So which is only applicable during the time of independence. Because that time we faced partition, so people who have crossed the borders and people who migrated, so to decide on their citizenship, we just we saw what are the provisions that are given in the constitution and which is only applicable during 1950s. So anything that is coming up now during the for the citizenship or anything about the citizenship, we have to look into the new act, that is the Citizenship Act 1955. Okay, so last time we saw the articles 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so just to quickly revise, because as I always said, revision is must, and I will be doing that from my end. So last time we saw three important parts of citizenship chapter. Okay, so if we have to divide, let me see. So citizenship can be divided into three major parts. Okay, so first part we saw that to whom we will be calling Indian citizens. Okay, so the question was who will be the citizen. Okay, so under this we have seen Article 5 was the first one, right? In this we have seen that based on two conditions we can give citizenship, and those two conditions was, first is domicile, whoever is having domicile in India. Okay, and out of this, sorry, and not or, out of this three, one they have to satisfy. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so coming back. Okay, so
Ma'am,
based on the, yeah, someone said something.
ma'am, can you wait for 2 minutes? Can I take my copy of legalism?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Ma'am, can you wait for 2 minutes? I can take my copy.
I am still not able to hear you properly.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, can you wait for 2 minutes? Can I take my copy of legalism?
Yeah, you were saying something. My network was fluctuating. So can you repeat it one more time? Sorry.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Uh,
Sahil, right?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you
Yes.
take for 2 minutes? Can I take my copy of the graph?
Of the last class where you have written you want to see.
No, no,
Is that
ma'am.
you're saying?
Yes, my copy, my notebook.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we were just revising Article 5. Okay. So Article 5, we were discussing the first class. Let me repeat everything. Okay. So chapter 1, which we are seeing for citizenship, we divided it into 3 parts. First part is all about how we are giving citizenship to different class of people. Okay, so the first one was Article 5. In that we have seen that how we can give citizenship on the basis of domicile. Okay, so Article 5 talks about citizenship based on domicile. In that you just have to fulfill 2 conditions. First, as it is for the domicile, first condition is domicile, and second condition is any one out of these 3. So the first one was either you are born in India or your parents or your grandparents. Okay, that was the first condition. So you, and second, your parents or grandparents are born in India. Okay. And the third one is if you are residing in India, okay, immediately 5 years, right? Everyone remembers this criteria? Immediately 5 years before the commencement of the constitution. And everyone knows that commencement, whenever we are saying, it is nothing but 26th of January 1950. So when we are talking about 5 years immediately, it means we are talking about, the constitution is talking about 1945 year. Okay, so because it is then immediately 5 years from 1950. So you have to just go back and you have to prove that I was staying in India from 1945 and I already have a domicile in India. So you are fulfilling both the conditions and you might get a citizenship on the basis of domicile. But this is all we are speaking about 1950s, okay, that period. But still it is important, okay. So that was the first one. What is Article 6? Article 6 is Atithi Devo Bhava. It means that we welcomed someone from the other country. And other country, everyone knows 6 and 7 talks about Pakistan, right? So when I'm saying Atithi Devo Bhava means people who are coming from Pakistan to India, right? So here Article 6 talks about people who came in India from Pakistan. Okay, so from Pakistan. And there was one date which is important here, which is 19th July year, guys,
1948.
1948. Okay, so this was the cutoff date. Why? Because they invented permit system on this date, and from this date they started checking whether when you are crossing the borders you have this permit or not. And once you have the permit, you can easily cross the border on the basis of the permit. But again, we divided this into 2 parts: people who have crossed the borders before 19th July and people who have crossed the borders after 19th July, right? And people who have crossed before, it was easier for them because they already surpassed one condition. That's why it was easier for them. So for them only 2 conditions they have to fulfill. First, that either they or their parents or grandparents born in undivided India, and second was, what was the second condition? That since they have come in India, they haven't left, so they are still residing in India. Okay, so there was no confusion for them. Since they have crossed the borders, they are in India only. Okay, but the second is after 19th July, it was a bit difficult for them. So they have to fulfill some more conditions than them, which were, this first condition was same, that either you or your parents or your grandparents are born in India. And second one was, they have entered our border under the permit system. And since they have come, now it's been 6 months and they have registered themselves as a citizen under the concerned authority, and that concerned authority also have, taken them as a citizen of India, so have registered them as a citizen of India. Now, anyone has any difficulty in 5 and 6 again?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you repeat this Article 6, second point of before 19 July 1948?
The first one, before one?
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So what happened here is, so if you have crossed the border before 19th July, so it was bit easier for them. You have to fulfill two conditions. One is which is very easy. Second one is that since you have come to India, okay. So for example, 19th July is given, right? So you have crossed the border on 1st of June. 1948 only, okay. So from 1st June you haven't gone anywhere, okay. So it wasn't like confusion for you that you again went back and again came back, right? It wasn't nothing like that. So you just have to prove that on 1st of June you have come to India, and since 1st of June you are staying in India only, so you haven't crossed the border. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, the other girl also were saying, is it clear to you as well? Okay, I'll take it as yes, okay? So, this was the condition, and this condition, other 5 conditions are also clear to everyone? Okay, I'll take it as
Yes,
yes. Yeah, someone said something? Yogi?
Yes, ma'am. I said it's clear.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
fine. Thank you. So now Article 7. Article 7 is, now 6 we talked about Atithi Devo Bhava, and Article 7 is Atithi Tum Kab Jaoge. Okay, that's how you have to remember. It means from India, the people who have gone to Pakistan. Okay, so whenever it is to Pakistan, it means that Atithi Tum Kab Jaoge. Okay, so that's how you have to remember it. And then what we have given here, again one more date. Okay, what is that date? March. What was the date?
1st March
1947.
1947. Okay, and earlier it was 48, and we are like, though it is 7, so Article 7 is like this, you have to remember, 7. Okay, so 1st March 1947 again. So here also 2 conditions were there. First is, people who have crossed the border of India and went to Pakistan. Okay, so once you cross India to Pakistan, you are no more Indian citizens. Okay, because not everyone came back. Out of 100, only maybe 1% or 2% came back. So the people who have gone, like in majority, so obviously they don't now will be called as Indians, right? Because they have crossed the borders. But again, we gave them a chance that even still after 1st March, if you still want to come back, then again, yes, you are welcome. But then again, you have to fulfill those 5 conditions, and everyone knows that. Can someone repeat those conditions? Saranya? You want to repeat? Okay, let me only repeat it. Okay, so it was the same what was there in Article 6. Those were, if you were born in India, your grandparents or your parents are born in India, and since you have come to India, it's been 6 months now, and in that 6 months, after the 6 months period, okay, when you are nearing that 6 months period, you have already registered yourself as a citizen of India with the concerned authority, whoever has been given that time responsibility, and that concerned authority has also been registered you as a citizen of India. Okay, so this was Article 7. So 5, 6, 7. Okay, now one more article is there which talks about giving citizenship, and that's why it falls under the first part, where we are talking about who will be the Indian citizens and who not. Okay, who will be the, sorry, not, we are not talking about the negative thing except this one condition. But because we are in the same article we are talking about people who again wants to come back, so again they have to fulfill, that's why we are not seeing that this is a negative article. Okay, then article 8. So article 8 talks about people who are staying in abroad but are of Indian origin. Okay, so 8 talks about abroad, but as even that time I explained that abroad doesn't mean Pakistan, because 6 and 7 already spoken about the people coming from Pakistan and people going to Pakistan. Okay, so abroad means any other country except Pakistan. Okay, so those who were staying abroad at that time of independence, okay, so on 26 Jan 1950, for some reason they are not in India, but they also want to register themselves as a citizen of India, they can also do that. What was the condition? First condition remains the same, either they, their parents or grandparents were born in undivided India, and second one was wherever they are staying right now, they just have to go to the consular's office, that is the diplomatic office, whichever it is there, and they have to register themselves as a citizen of India. Okay, so has everyone watched this movie which is Khuda Hafiz, which is on Hotstar right now? Have you watched
Yes,
those
ma'am.
movies? Right, they have actually shown very nicely the consular's office and what kind of problems you need to face when you are crossing the borders. So here in this story, he has to go and they will be explaining them that you have to go to this office only, which is of your country's office, then you have to take certain passes and then only you will be allowed, because law of the land is always important for them. It is their law which is important, because you are the one who is on their land. Okay, so it has been explained very nicely. If you watch the movie is horrible but yes, they have shown this foreign things very nicely, that diplomatic offices and how you have to take permissions, and how every time you just have to seek permissions, because how important it is to maintain the law of the country. Okay, so movie apart, everyone is clear about Article 8?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, great. Okay, so this was the first part, which says that who will be the people who will be the citizen of India on the commencement of the Constitution. Okay, the second part was Article 9, which says not deemed to be a citizen. Now here in first part we talked about who will be the people who will be the citizen of India. Okay, now we were talking on not deemed to be a citizen. Okay, so who will not deemed to be a citizen? We already spoken about this, that India only has one single citizenship. So we cannot say that okay, you can have Indian citizenship as well as the foreign citizenship. We don't do that because we do not have dual citizenship. Okay, so a person who's voluntarily accepting, so maybe we here 8 talked about, right, Article 8, even if you are staying in USA, okay, on in 1950 year on 26th Jan you are in USA. Okay, and the Constitution now is saying that as per Article 8 you can be a part of Indian citizen, you can get it if you are born in India and all those two conditions. Okay, but Article 9 says that on this date or before this date only, if you have voluntarily meaning is, voluntarily means no one is forcing you for doing something, you yourself, you're going and saying that yes, I want to be a citizen of your country. So once you are accepting the citizenship of USA or any other country, automatically you are renouncing your Indian citizenship, because here it's only a single citizenship, right? So this article is saying that if on this date, if before or on this date, voluntarily, if you have accepted, voluntarily, again I'm saying voluntarily means no one has forced you and you yourself has taken decision for yourself that yes, I want to be a citizen of USA, and then you are accepting USA citizenship, it means automatically your Indian citizenship is gone. Okay, so that time you will not deemed to be an Indian citizen.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I want to ask one question, that if any person is citizen of in foreign countries and he has some property in India, so that property will be owned to him or that property will own to the government of India?
See, if at all he is having a property, so he will have some rights over that property, right? And it doesn't mean that if you are a citizen of USA and if you have a property in India, you cannot visit your property. It is not like that, right? Obviously, you can travel as a, though you have a citizenship of USA, but you can always travel here. You can always show in your visa that this is the reason I'm traveling here. But your property, nothing will happen, because obviously you have several other reasons to show that, you know, my grandparents belong here or something. So this is my Purkho ki property here. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter upon your citizenship ki, you know, because you are citizen of other country and you are of Indian origin, so something will happen to your property.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So 9 was about not deemed to be an Indian citizen, and 10 and 11 was easiest part. 10 and
Excuse me,
11
ma'am.
talks about the powers. Yes.
Ma'am, is it 26 October 1950?
What?
The date in Article 9, is it 26th of October 1950?
No. What
Ma'am,
is
you have
this date?
written there.
No, I wrote 26 Jan 1950.
Okay. मैम नीचे आर्टिकल 8 के जो नीचे डेट लिखी है 8
नीचे article 8 के नीचे. It is also Jan. There was no place, so I just wrote it like that.
okay ma'am, thank you.
Okay, so don't get confused. Okay, only 3 dates are there when we are talking about the during the commencement. First date is the commencement of the constitution, that is 26 January 1950. Then the date comes in article 6, which is 19th July 1948. Okay, then comes the third date, which comes in article 7, which is 1st of March 1947. ओके, सो 7 ऐसे याद रखना है, क्योंकि 7th आर्टिकल में 1947 की बात हुई है. ओके, और 6 में बात हुई है 1948 की. तो 8 में से अगर आप 4 निकालते हो तो 6 रहता है. अगर आपको वैसे याद रखना है, यू कैन इवन रिमेम्बर इट दैट वे. ओके, डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज. ओनली 3 dates we have spoken so far for getting the citizenship in the like during the constitution period, that is the commencement of the constitution. Okay, or 10 and 11 talks about the parliament powers. So 10 talks about you can enjoy your citizenship as long as the parliament is not coming up with something new law, because the parliament has power that whatever your powers are there, they can revoke as in they can cancel it, right? So why we are on the roads? Because of CAA, because CAA is changing what we have till now. So it is revoking certain rights were there, which it is revoking, right? So that we will be seeing now, and that's why the whole citizenship chapter is very important, because of the new CAA law. Okay, so now we were clear, we are all very clear on what has been given in the constitution about the citizenship. Now we have to see what is given in this Citizenship Act 1955. Okay, so before we go into the Citizenship Act, let me make this class interesting. Okay, So we will be seeing today the Citizenship Act 1955. That what are the provisions which are there in 1955. Okay. Before that, let's discuss on one new topic, which is Rohingyas. So what is this Rohingyas issue? Because Rohingyas are so much in news. So who are these people? What do they want? What is the whole news about Rohingyas? Does anyone know about it? Have you read about Rohingyas news? What are the Rohingyas issues? Because when CAA came into picture, so many people started asking, then why not Rohingyas? Why we are not including Rohingyas in the minorities? Does anyone know about Rohingyas? Anything that you know, even one sentence will be enough for me.
No, ma'am.
The Bangladeshis who came into India to escape from Bangladesh.
Okay, that's a good answer, Nikhil, but I will again explain on that, okay? Anyone else?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Yogi, do you know anything about Rohingyas?
Ma'am, little bit I know about it.
Yeah, tell me.
They are I think they are people living in northern region of Myanmar, and they have described one of the most world's persecuted minorities, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So that is persecuted. Okay, we pronounce it as persecuted. Okay, anything else that you know?
Ma'am, just this one.
Okay, okay, that was a good answer, Yogi. Thank you so much. Okay, does anyone know anything more about this? What has been shared already? Okay, I'll take it as no, and no worries that you don't know. Okay, so I'll be telling you this interesting stories about Rohingyas. So what happened in this story now? Okay, so हमें कब आजादी मिली in 1947, right? In 1948, Burma got independence. Everyone knows that there is a small country called Burma, right? It was Burma earlier, and later now, in 70s, I guess. Let me check the year. Okay, so yes, it was named as Myanmar in 1989. Okay, so Burma we are talking about. Okay, and it was the name of the country was changed into Myanmar in the year 1989. Okay, and they got independence in 1948. Okay.
आज की वीडियो में हम वही डिस्कस करेंगे कि मिट्टी गमलों के लिए कैसा मिट्टी का मिश्रण बनाएं।
माँ मैंने एक करती होती।
Yeah, can you go on mute? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what happened is, so this Burma, okay, when they got independence in 1948, what they did is there was a small community, okay, which is the minority, Muslim minority, okay. So there is this Muslim minority which is staying in one part of the Myanmar which is called as Rakhine. They pronounce it as Rakhine, okay, which is actually, as per the spelling, it's Rakhine. So okay, Rakhine, whatever it is. So they belong to this Rakhine region, okay. So all this Muslim minority, which is called as the, what we were speaking about, what is this community? Rohingyas. Okay.
Rohingyas.
Yes. So they are the Muslim minority, authentic Muslim minority, which is staying in the Rakhine state, like in Rakhine area of Myanmar. So Burma जब 1948 में as an independent country करके independent हुआ, okay. So what happened at that time? After the independence, the government said that this particular community, okay, so this community speaks Bangla language, okay, so that's why they identified this group of people as these are illegal immigrants, okay, so these are illegal Bengali immigrants which do not belong to Burma, and that's why they are foreigners, okay. So obviously when a country is not identifying a group of people as their own citizens, they automatically becomes the foreigners, right? And as you know, the foreigners will not have the same rights as the citizens of that country. So obviously when your own country is saying that you are not our part, you are not our citizens, you can go wherever you want to, you have to leave this country, okay. And this community, as we are speaking, during that time only their population was around 1.1 million, okay. And this 1.1 million people, if you are telling them to just go away from the country where they have been born, where their generations have been gone all these years, how difficult it would have been, right? So, and then to make the matters even worse, what happened is in 2012, now everyone knows that Myanmar is a Buddhist country, right? So if these people who has already been declared as anti-nationals, because you are foreigners, so obviously you do not have any right in Burma, which is Myanmar now, so we'll call it like in Myanmar you don't have any rights, and Myanmar is a Buddhist country, okay. So in 2012 what happened was some of the Rohingyas were charged of gang rape, and that too a gang rape of a Buddhist woman, okay. That's why the whole situation gets worse. And 2012, when the Rohingyas was charged with the gang rape of a Buddhist woman, because it is a Buddhist country, and the minority who has already been declared as foreigners, if they are doing gang rape on their citizen, that to a Buddhist citizen, okay, so you can imagine the scenario now, right? Everyone is with me on the same page, or
Yes.
anyone has not understood?
I understood.
Okay. So 2000 में ये सब होने के बाद सिचुएशन एकदम से वर्स्ट हो जाती है रोहिंग्यास के लिए, okay? Because now they suddenly find themselves with no houses, because the people, the army, Myanmar army is against them, and they started evacuating their land. You have to evacuate, kahin pe bhi jao, you are not allowed to stay in Myanmar, okay. So obviously these people who doesn't have any other way to go, so what they will be doing, obviously they will be starting going to the nearest countries, right? So because they speak Bangla, okay, so obviously their first option will be Bangladesh, right? And Bangladesh is the country who accept maximum of the Rohingyas, again based on the language, because you know Bangladeshi is their language, so they can easily speak Bangla. So they used to accept them. But then what happened was the population was suddenly spiking. So the refugees who were crossing, the Rohingyas, they were started saturating in Bangladesh. So again, Bangladesh, when this incident happened, 2012, they said, now we are not admitting any Rohingyas into Bangladesh. Okay, so Bangladesh just said that, okay, now we are not taking you, we are not helping you, please go and take help, seek help from any other country, but we are not helping you anymore. Okay, then what happened, and what was the reason that why these people were so desperate to leave? Because if the army has been given orders that these are the minority people, these are not our nationals, and they have to be get out from the country, so obviously army to pura haath dho ke piche lag jayegi, right? Or us time pe maximum, as I have been saying from my first lecture, always when such kind of incidents happen, rape will be the first, crime which will happen the most, because there is no one who this Rohingyas will go to, who they will complain to, because this police, obviously they are countryless people, so they don't have any authority to go to. और उस time maximum murders 2012 में रोहिंग्यास की situation बहुत ही खराब हो गई, because rapes, murders, arsons, robbery, ये सब कुछ इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ गया कि now Myanmar said that okay, now we have to get out these people, because you know the crime rate is too high. And then, as I said, first they went to Bangladesh, but 2012 Bangladesh also said that we cannot help you anymore. Then they went to Thailand. Okay, so Thailand were actually they were like, okay, we are feeling really sorry of what happened to you. We know that you are countryless people, but sorry, we cannot give you any entry into our land. Okay, what we can do maximum, we can give you food, we can give you medicines, but apart from that, do not expect any help from Thailand, because we cannot give our territory to you, you countryless people, because they are not like, in few digits, it's huge population. Then, because these people were traveling from boat, now people started recognizing infamously as boat people. Okay, because first, as I said, they were going on all the borders. So first they went to Bangladesh, then they went to Thailand, then they went to Indonesia. Now Indonesia also adopted the same policy towards Rohingyas. They said that yes, whatever happened to you, we are very sorry, but we can only provide you food and medicines. What Thailand is doing, we will also do the same, but we cannot give you entry on our land. Okay, then the last resort was India. And as everyone knows, India is like, जब भी ऐसी घुसपैठी की बात होती है, India is the easiest country to just take an entry. But obviously, because Myanmar also falls on our border, these people kept little away from the border and they started entering into the northeast states. Okay, so northeast states में घुसने लगे. इनकी बहुत ज़्यादा population है जम्मू और कश्मीर में. Okay, over 5,000, and India is home to like around 50,000 Rohingyas. Okay, so that is the population that we have. And our union minister once said, Rijeju, if I'm not wrong, yes, he said that Rohingyas are also an illegal migrants in India. So what we have decided is, we have decided to deport them back to Myanmar. Okay, so Myanmar पहले ही बोल रही है कि आपको हमारे दरवाजे बंद है, right? But because we have so much population of Rohingyas, even the union ministry decided that we have to deport these people back. अब भेजेंगे तो कहाँ भेजेंगे, क्योंकि कोई भी country उनको अपने पास लेने के लिए ready नहीं है, right? So we decided कि बाबा आप जहाँ से आए हो वहीं पे वापस चले जाओ, मतलब आप म्यांमार में ही वापस जाओ. लेकिन म्यांमार तो पहले ही हाथ खड़े कर चुकी है, right? So that time we got several letters from the international organizations that we know that your stand is this, but we request you not to send Rohingyas back, because Rohingyas is the most persecuted minority. Persecuted as in उनके साथ बहुत ही ज़्यादा नाइंसाफी हुई है. There has always been very much violence against this particular community. As I said, rapes, robbery, कुछ भी हो जाए, इनके यहाँ पे इतना ज़्यादा, because as I said, the people do not have any country, so obviously they cannot go to anyone कि हमारे साथ ये हुआ है, because the police will say कि you do not belong to this country. So obviously the police were the one who were torturing them most, raping them most. So that's why it is always like, even on the map of the world, Rohingyas is the Muslim community which has been persecuted the most. Okay, so that's why we have taken this topic ki, when CAA came, okay, CAA talked about ki, there are several communities which has been persecuted minorities. okay, and we will be giving shelter to persecuted minorities, but there was no name of Rohingyas. So that's why this topic again and again came back, that why then we are not accepting the most persecuted minority. And that's why CAA and Rohingyas topic is related, because when we are saying that we are giving citizenship to the minority people who has been persecuted, then why not Rohingyas? Okay, that's why the topic is important, and I will be sending one video to you, so you have to see that video. And if you still don't understand, because the digits have been properly given in that video, okay, so it will again be a revision to you, and just go through that video, and if again you find any difficulty in understanding, just write back to me. Okay, so that was all about Rohingyas. Yes, Sahil?
Ma'am, now India is saying that Rohingyas should flee from our country or not.
Sorry, we?
Ma'am, now India is in the favor that Rohingyas should flee from their territory, means from India or not.
No, they won't be given any citizenship from India.
Excuse ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Rohingyas were the low poverty people.
Yeah, they are actually it has been said that 78% of the people of Rohingyas who are like below poverty line. So it just describes that they are really, really poor.
Ma'am, their name is not in CA because they are the most persecuted means.
Yes, that is the question. Actually, the people who are opposing CAA, they are asking it to government that why not Rohingyas? Okay, then because when this question was asked to the ministry that why we have only included these 6 communities and why only we are considering these 3 countries, so that time the government said that because these are the people who has been minority and they have been persecuted in these 3 countries. So that's why this question was asked. Then why not Rohingyas? Because Rohingyas is also a minority. They have been the most persecuted minority. Then why we are not including them? Okay, so we will see what has been given in CAA, what is in this act, and then we will be able to answer that. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you please explain persecuted again?
Persecuted as in कि जिनके साथ बहुत violence हुआ है, okay, so they have been beaten, they have been raped, they have been robbed, they have been like जो कुछ भी होता है ना बुरा, वो उनके साथ सबसे ज्यादा हुआ है. So सबसे ज्यादा violence उनके साथ हुआ है, सबसे ज्यादा नाइंसाफी जो हम बोलते हैं ना, नाइंसाफी word, so that is that. Okay, so most persecuted मतलब most tortured community. Okay.
Ma'am, just because they are not,
Okay, ma'am.
they are not a part of a country, that is the reason for it.
Yeah, obviously, because if so for example, now if a group of Indian people, if they are saying that okay, now Muslims are not the part of India, so what will happen then? Then if they want to lodge any complaint which is happening against them, where they will go? Because if they are going to police, then what Indian police is saying, you are not a part of India, why you are coming to us? And those police only will torture them, because police know that they have nowhere to go, they cannot sort it out, right? Because if you have a country, if you are a member of that country, if you are a citizen, then only that police will help you. Otherwise, obviously, they will say that you are not a part of this country, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Excuse ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, they are of which religion?
Muslim minority, authentic Muslim group it is.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I will be sending a video. If in case I forget, please remind me, okay? So the picture will be even more clear to you people that who are these Rohingyas. Okay, that video is very well depicted. Yes?
Ma'am, all the 50,000 people of Rohingyas migrated to India.
Not all of them, but the figure which was given is more than 168,000 people migrated in 2012 alone. So they fled from Myanmar. So they have been going to all these countries, but as I said that all the countries have shut their doors on them. So there is a large probability that, you know, we have, like, Indian borders have maximum of Rohingyas. Though the digits, they are just telling that we have around 50,000, but I'm sure it is much more than 50,000. Okay.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Any other person has any questions or doubts, or if you want me to, you know, re-explain anything?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
only Muslims were persecuted from the Myanmar. Means
Yes.
they were led to flee from Myanmar.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. And this, like, I am not sure if there is any other Muslim community also, but when we are talking about Rohingyas, these are the Muslim minority which is staying in the Rakhine state of Myanmar. So these are the target people, that, you know, that Rakhine, whoever is staying in Rakhine, those, if they are Muslims, so obviously they are not part of India, sorry, not part of Myanmar, and they have to deport themselves. I mean, can you just imagine how horrible the situation is for them? They have no land to go to because their own country, because when they see that, okay, where they have come from, so their history shows that from 15th century they have been staying in Myanmar. But once the 1948 comes, Myanmar suddenly says that no, you are not Myanmar, you are not Burmese, you are some other people who have come from Bangladesh, so you go back. And Bangladesh is already saying that no, you are from Myanmar, from 15th century you are staying in Myanmar, so obviously how you will become a Bangladeshi? So all this, you know, this fight, in that fight, the Rakhine people, this Myanmari people, you can say the Rohingyas, they have been worstly persecuted minority. That you can even see some more videos on them, that how they have been tortured, how they have been, you know, taken out from the country. It's really horrible. So okay, one more thing for me, that I have to send the video with no fail. Okay, so I am taking it as yes, that everyone understood, and once you will see the video, even your doubts will be even more clearer, and you will be clear on who are the Rohingyas. Okay, so one topic is clear, and I even told you why it is important to understand the group of Rohingyas, why it is important, right? Now, one more interesting topic, which is again related with the CAA. Now, if you would have seen the whole CAA fight, right, you can see Assamese, right, the Northeast people are the people who are much more against the CAA than anyone. Especially Assam. Assam में कर्फ्यू हो गया था, and Assam की पूरा मतलब इंटरनेट बंद कर दिया था. Assam के people ने जब भी CAA का चल रहा था, वो जब सारा violence, so it was Assam who burned the most during these fights. Now, why Assam? Okay, so there is a history why Assam was very furious on CAA. So क्या हुआ? As I said that, you know, all this northeast districts, they fall on the boundaries, right? And because they are on boundaries, from 1920 जब ये दंगे सब कुछ शुरू हुआ था इंडिया में, when India was an undivided British India, right? That time Bangladesh was our part, Pakistan was our part, or all over India, all over like British India, this whole, you know, rebel started in 1920, और तभी से बहुत ज़्यादा migration होने लगा, और migration सबसे ज़्यादा in states में होने लगा, which was Northeast. So Northeast people, before becoming a part of India, जब reorganization of states हो रहा था, तब उन्होंने कहा कि हमारे लिए हमारा culture is very important and we do not want to dilute our culture. Okay, and that's why on that basis even special protection has been given to many northeast states, right? We have seen this कि inner permit line है कि आप इंडिया में कहीं पे भी जा सकते हो, बट अगर आपको अरुणाचल जाना है, अगर आपको मेघालय जाना है या मणिपुर जाना है, आपको इनर लाइन परमिट लेना पड़ता है. Why? Because they do not want you to pollute their culture. Okay, so इन सब के बीच में आसाम में क्या हुआ? एक हिस्टोरिकल चीज हुई. आसाम में 1970s में, ओके, एक नेता की डेथ हो गई. Okay, and that neta's name was Hiralal.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, I'm sorry, but I'm not able to follow Hindi. Can you once again explain the background?
Okay. So
Thank you.
actually I was explaining the history of Assam, that why the Assamese are very furious on CAA. Okay, so why? Because we have a history. Okay, Assam whole has a history why they are against CAA. Okay, so what happened? Something remarkable happened in 1970s in Assam. Okay, so from exam point of view, from general knowledge point of view, this is very important. So what happened in 1978? The Assam MP, who was a member of parliament, he suddenly died, and his name was Hira Lal Patwari. Okay, so this Hira Lal Patwari, because of his sudden death, क्या हो गया कि जो member खड़ा होता है election के लिए और उसकी अचानक, if he died like suddenly, if he dies, so obviously there will be re-elections in that state, right? And jab re-election, when they started doing the re-election and when they checked the list of citizens, so obviously we know that only the citizens have a right to vote, right? But what happened on this date, when they took out the list of citizens of Assam, they came to know that suddenly the list has been 4 times higher than what it was originally, right? So they came to know then who are these citizens, because if, like, obviously if 1 to 10 are the citizens, and suddenly when you are counting it, you just realize that okay, not 10 but 40 people are there. So obviously you will be checking that who are these people who has suddenly been increased. Okay, and then they stopped the elections in 1978, and whole Assam, okay, so the students of Assam, the people who were really worried, and all the big people, they went on a fight which is called as Assam Andolan. Okay, so this Assam Andolan started from 1979, it went till 1985. Okay, so this long, so 79, 80, and then 85, it means 7 years this went. Okay, and after 7 years of Assam Andolan, the government was actually ready to get into the terms of what these Assamese were asking. Okay, so what these Assamese were asking was, we want an Assam Accord. Okay, so then in 1985 Assam Accord was created, and they just said, okay, we are ready to have an Assam Accord. Now what is Assam Accord? Assam Accord is nothing but there were some rules that the government said, yes, we are ready for it, and one of the important decision that they came up to is NRC. The government said that now we will have National Register of Citizens. Okay, so they prepared NRC, which is National Register of Citizens, and when they created NRC, they came to know that apart from citizens, there are 19 lakh people who are more. So ये 19 lakh people आए कहाँ से? So obviously 19 lakh were the illegal migrants. Okay, so as per the Assam Accord, they said that whoever are illegal migrants, this 19 lakh people, okay, so they came up on a date which was again 1st of March. Okay, so this was 24th. Okay, 24th of March 1971. 24th of March 1971. Okay, so now what has been decided as per the Assam Accord, that NRC will be effective, and NRC will have one date which is 24th of March 1971. Now why this date? Because as per this date, the NRC says that whoever, okay, whoever has come into India after 24th of March 1971, they will not be called as Indian citizens. They are illegal migrants and they should be deported back to their countries. Okay? So this was decided in the Assam Accord, and Assamese, for Assamese, it is like a Bible. Okay, so they are like, yes, this is the date which the government has to follow, because that is what the government agreed with them, that after 24th of March 1971, whoever has crossed the borders, irrespective of religion, okay, irrespective of which language these people are speaking, we are not concerned. If you have come to India after 24th of March 1971 from the neighboring countries, or so from whosoever, if you are not Indian and you have crossed the border illegally after 24th of March 1971, then you will be called as illegal migrants. Okay? Now, why the CAA has caused so many problems? Because ये डेट ही पूरा CAA ने चेंज कर दिया. Okay, now what the CAA is saying is, no, we will not consider 24th of March 1971. What we will consider? We will consider 31st of December 2014. Can you believe how many years gap is there? So now we will be taking from 31st of December 2014 के बाद जो भी लोग इंडिया आए हैं, ठीक है? और why this date only? Because the CAA came into existence in 2019. Okay, and again something which has been given in Citizenship Act is कि अगर आपको इंडिया में सिटीजनशिप लेना है तो आपको कम से कम इंडिया में 14 साल रहना पड़ेगा. ओके, एंड फ्रॉम दैट 14 years 11 years is mandatory. So what the government has done, 11 year तो छोड़ दो, 11 से हाफ भी नहीं, अब the CAA is saying that अगर आप 5 साल भी इंडिया रहे हो तो आपको इंडियन सिटीजनशिप मिल जाएगी. Okay, and why India is so desperate when India is not able to feed the citizens of itself, like our own citizens, if they are not able to provide the jobs, they are not able to provide the food. We know how many people are already, like Indian citizens are there who are below poverty line. Then why India is so much interested in giving citizenship? That too, why India is so desperate to give away the citizenship? Because of the bank vote, the vote of banks. Because obviously if this government will give them the citizenship, obviously all these people who will become citizens, all the illegal migrants, obviously उनके लिए जो गवर्नमेंट ने उनको फ्री में सिटीजनशिप दी है वो उन्हीं को वोट करेंगे, right? So that is also one of the point which has been discussed in CAA. So have you understood what I'm trying to tell you, or you have a doubt?
So shall we take a note of that?
Yeah, Adi, you go first. What was it?
Shall we take a note of that CA date, NRC date, that 1971?
Yes, it is 24th of March 1971, NRC date. And it clearly says that whosoever is coming into India after 24th of March 1971, they will be called as illegal migrants. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, who was the other person? A girl voice?
Ma'am.
Yeah. Yes,
ma'am, who were these 19 lakh people?
These were all the illegal migrants, so they were not Indians.
Ma'am, so these were Rohingyas or other people?
No, not Rohingyas. We don't only have Rohingyas, but we have so many Bangladeshis, illegal immigrants, who has, who has been staying in Northeast, so many Afghani illegal migrants, so many other people who have fled, even Sri Lankan people we have, Sri Lankan Tamilians we have, because that is also one of the persecuted minority in Sri Lanka. So they even fled away. So like that, we have so many other, the neighboring countries, people who have fled away to India. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. And so
Ma'am,
all the persecuted groups came to India only.
Yeah, because it's easier to just sneak into our borders.
ma'am,
Okay.
Yeah.
ma'am, then why the date was changed to 31st December 2014? That after that,
Yeah, because it makes the government very easy, because what they are saying, okay, I will explain this point when I'm again teaching you 1955. Okay, because that time it will be much more clearer to you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay, so if you are clear on this, we can now jump into the Citizenship Act. I just wanted to tell you this two important news, that is Assam Accord and Rohingyas. So now if the Assam Accord and Rohingyas is clear to you, I can teach you the Citizenship Act. But I don't want any one of you to have any doubt about either Rohingyas or
Ma'am,
Excuse
the
me,
Assam
ma'am.
Accord. What is this disturbance, guys? And who can you go on mute? Yes, thank you. Yeah, someone was saying something.
ma'am, can you repeat the Assam Accord here?
Assam Accord. Okay, so this election, which was supposed to happen in 1978, were cancelled because of the death of Hiralal, okay, who was the member of parliament, Hiralal Patwari. So he died in 1978, and then they decided to do the re-elections, and then they came to know that, the list of citizens has been increased enormously, and that's why they went on the Andolan, which started from 1979 and which went till we got the Assam Accord. So 1979 till 1985, and 1985 somehow they signed on Assam Accord, and out of which NRC was the important point, because NRC says that it will be there will be a national register of citizens, and when they counted the citizens, they found out that 19 lakh people are illegal immigrants, and that's why they came up with a date that whoever will cross the border, whosoever, irrespective of language, irrespective of their religion, so whosoever is coming into crossing the borders illegally after 24th of March 1971, they will be called as illegal migrants, okay, and they will not be given the status of Indian citizens. So that is Assam Accord, through which we got the NRC.
Ma'am, so it was
And
signed in 1985.
85, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone has still any doubt on Assam Accord? Because historically it is a GK event, so everyone should be very clear on that. Okay?
ma'am, ma'am,
Yes?
ma'am.
Yes?
Earlier you discussed about the citizenship of India of means 15 years, means 11 years mandatory. What was that? Can you explain that?
I will explain it when now I'm teaching you Citizenship Act, right? So in that it is clearly given, and again I will teach that point one more time.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So are we clear on this, guys? Can we just jump on to a Citizenship Act now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So before that, just everyone go for a water break and come with a fresh mind. Okay, because it's again a new topic, and don't get confused. So just fill yourself with H2O, and I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone has still any doubt? No? Okay. So what are the basic things of Citizenship Act that you have to remember? Okay. So we know that during commencement we have to see the constitution, and for any new topic of citizenship or any new issue we always have to see the Citizenship Act 1955, because we know that tremendous powers were given in Article 10 and 11, which makes the parliament the only authority which can change the law, make the law on the citizenship, right? So the whole CAA, why it is in picture, because it is actually trying to change the Citizenship Act 1955. Okay. Now, basically, what do we have in Citizenship Act? So, Citizenship Act mainly deals with two things. First, how to acquire citizenship. Okay, how you can become an Indian citizenship and how you can give it away. So that is termination of citizenship. Okay, so termination are 3 types and acquisition is again 5 types of acquisition. Okay, now how do you remember it? So everyone, I am sure that everyone loves Varun Dhawan and they have seen the movie Badrinath Ki Dulhania. Seen? ओके हमें मूवी से कोई लेना देना नहीं है, हमें सिर्फ नाम याद रखना है बद्रीनाथ. ओके एंड व्हाई? बिकॉज द एक्विजिशन यू कैन रिमेंबर इट विद B D R N. Okay, so what B stands for is birth. Okay, what D stands is for descent. Okay, R stands is for registration. N stands for naturalization. Badri I is what is that? Territory. Acquiring the territory.
Ma'am, can you please put the camera a little down?
Okay, just a minute. What is not seen?
We are unable to see after R.
R.
Can you tilt the camera a little down?
Yeah. Is it okay now? Or still not able?
Ma'am, the last one is not visible.
Okay. That is acquiring.
Your face changed, man.
हाँ एक मिनट नीचे कर लेती हूँ फिर से. I'm sure now it is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so it is nothing but acquisition of territory. Okay. So B stands for birth. Okay, so 5 types दिए गए हैं कि अगर आप commencement के वक्त for some reason you are not able to take the citizenship, फिर भी कोई बात नहीं है, right? So under Citizenship Act 1955 also you can acquire Indian citizenship. But again they have given 5 methods of acquiring the citizenship of India. Now, first is obviously it is talking about birth. So birth means again it is taking back to the criteria कि अगर आपका birth या फिर आपके पापा का birth या तो फिर आपके नाना का. So we will just be seeing कि what has been given in the birth. Okay. So first is birth. Birth में पहले जब commencement हुआ, right? Commencement यानी 26th January 1950. So when this commencement started, as per this act of 1955, it said that whoever takes birth, okay, on the territory of India after 26th of Jan or on 26th of Jan, they will be a citizen of India. इररिस्पेक्टिव कि आपके पापा मम्मी कौन है, दादा कौन है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. अगर आपने बर्थ लिया है, that is enough. People who do not follow Hindi, it means that whoever takes birth on the soil of India, that person will be automatically become the citizen of India if he or she is taking birth on the Indian land. So for example, if someone has come on vacation in India, okay, in 1950 कि चलो देखने जाते हैं आजादी कैसे जश्न बना रहे हैं इंडिया वाले and all that, and if someone is on a vacation during that period and then they give a birth to a girl baby or boy baby in India, so automatically that girl baby or boy baby becomes the citizen of India on the basis of this law. Okay, so but obviously because after a few years we realized that okay, this is not serving the first problem, because now whoever is coming illegally into the Indian borders, so automatically their kids are getting the status of Indian citizen, right? So even though they are not citizens and they want their kids, so what they are doing, they are simply getting married so that their kids will be called as Indian citizens. Are you understanding or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So after some time we realized that no, this is not serving the purpose, because so many illegal migrants and we are just giving like a prasad, right, Indian citizenship to everyone, so this should be stopped. That's why in the first amendment which happened was okay. So this continued till 1st of July 1987. Okay. So ये सब कुछ चलता रहा 1987 तक. It means that whoever has taken birth on the soil of India from 26th of January till 1st of July 1987, they were all called as Indian citizens. They were giving the status of Indian citizens. But soon in July, we realized that no, because we are increasing unnecessary population, so we have to curb it. And that's why the law came, and the law said that we are not giving just the Indian citizenship to anyone now. Now they came up with one more criteria, because earlier we didn't see, right? It doesn't matter कि उसके पापा कौन है, उसकी मम्मी कौन है, कौन से country से है. So earlier it was out of question that who the father is, who the mother is, and we were simply giving citizenship because that baby took birth on the on Indian soil. But later on, from 1st of July 1987, we said no, it won't go forward. So what we will do now, okay, if you have taken birth in India, but the other condition would be either one of your parents should be an Indian parent. So either mother or father, if one of them is Indian, then you will be given a citizenship of India. Okay. Then it also went till 2003. Okay, 3rd December 2003. So 3rd December 2003 तक ये चला कि okay, you not only one condition that you are taking birth, but one more condition, that is either your father or mother should be Indian citizen. Now 3rd December से क्या हुआ? Either one parent, at least two parents, okay, both should be Indians. Okay, if not both, then one parent should be Indian. Okay, and the other parent should not be illegal migrant. Should not be illegal migrant. Am I clear on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so थोड़ा confusing है कि on what basis, on the birth of, on the basis of birth we were giving citizenship. Okay, so पहला रूल बहुत ही इजी था कि जैसे हमें आजादी मिली तो हमें लगा कि सब बहुत कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है, तो जो भी इंडिया में जन्म लेगा उसको इंडियन सिटीजनशिप मिल जाएगा. Whoever will take birth on Indian soil, we will give them Indian citizenship. But soon in 1987 we realized that no, we are just increasing the population of India, and that's why we shouldn't be doing it. We should also be checking who is the father or who is the mother of that kid, and that mother or father, either one should be Indian. So if one parent is Indian, then we started giving the citizenship on the basis of that. But soon again, from 3rd December 2003, we said that no, only one parent is not fulfilling the criteria. So again we came up with the third condition that yes, one parent should be Indian, that is fine. But the other parent, mother or father, whoever it is, the other also should not be illegal migrant. Okay, so if one is Indian and another one is from UK or US, that is fine. But if that person is an illegal Bangladeshi migrant or illegal Sri Lankan illegal migrant, then we stated that okay, you won't be getting Indian citizenship, because what we want is one parent should be Indian. If the father is Indian, then the mother should not be an illegal migrant. Okay, or if the mother is Indian, then the father should not be illegal migrant. So if you are fulfilling this criteria, then only on the basis of birth you will be getting Indian citizenship. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, why?
Ma'am, this act you are teaching of 1955 or 1950?
It is 1955 Act. We do not have any act which is of 1950. Okay, so Citizenship Act, whenever it comes, it comes in the year of 1955. And whenever we start about the commencement of Constitution, it is 26th of Jan 1950. Clear?
Ma'am,
Yes?
ma'am, why only Bangladesh and other countries were called as illegal migrants? Why not foreign countries?
No, I am saying that illegal migrant, it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be only Bangladeshi. I just gave an example of Bangladeshi. So even if the other person is Bangladeshi, but if she's not illegal migrant, then she can also be the other parent. Just that she shouldn't be illegal migrant. Okay. So now to understand what is illegal migrant, the definition of illegal migrant is this. Okay. So if you have taken the citizenship of India showing the fraud documents, okay, then you will be illegal migrant. Okay, so if you have a visa to enter into the border of India, but that visa was only till 1st of Jan 2000, okay, and you are staying beyond 2000, it came 2001, but still you are staying in India. How? Because you are staying illegally, because you had the permission to stay only till 2000 in India, but you are staying beyond 2000, so it means you are staying illegally in India. It means whatever has been decided, the span which was decided for you, that you will be staying for 6 months in India, but now it's been a year, still you are not going from India, it means now you have become illegal migrant. Understood? So 2 conditions. First, that you have showed illegal documents, you have showed fraud documents, and then you have acquired the citizenship. And second one is that the particular period frame which was allowed to you, you are staying beyond that. Okay, so again, I'll give you some example. What happened? The people who come from Kenya, for example, or from Dubai to study in India, okay? So for them, there will be a particular timeline. कि आपका course, जो भी, for whichever course you have come to India, that course is of 2 years. So we are giving you visa from 1998 to 2000. Okay, so obviously your course is for this 2 years, so you can stay in India for this 2 years. So obviously after 2000 they have to leave, right? Because their purpose of visa has been finished and they have to leave. Now because they liked India, or maybe they want to stay more, what they are doing, they are still after 2000 only, they have extended their stay, which is illegal. So now they will be called as illegal migrants. Am I clear here what is illegal migrant?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And obviously the Assam Accord also gave us one date, that after this 24th of March 1970, what was the date? I forgot. 24th of March 19, Assam Accord kab aaya?
85.
71.
1971.
Yes. So 24th of March 1971 के बाद जो भी आएगा वो illegal migrant कहलाएगा. So again you can relate this definition to that. So the illegal migrant definition जो ये act में दी गई है, it says that if you have acquired the Indian citizenship by fraudulent way or by showing the illegal documents or whatever span which we have allowed you to stay, you are staying beyond that span without the proper authority. Yes, if you are going and saying to the authority that my visa was from 1998 till 2000, but something happened because of some riots or something, my exam has been postponed and now it has been shifted in 2001, so I have to stay till 2001 in India because my exam has been postponed, right? तो अगर वो लीगली जाके ऑफिस में उसका वीजा एक्सटेंशन कराता है, if he legally goes to the office and says to the person that I want my visa to be extended till 2001 because my exam has been postponed, then obviously it's a legal way. But this is extremely a lazy student. He feels कि अगर अब मैं जाऊंगा तो मेरा कितना time waste हो जाएगा, I have to study, and who will go to the passport office, who will stay for hours in line, and it will be so much of time waste, so I don't want to go. And then he still stays till 2001. So this stay will be called as the illegal stay. Am I clear?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes?
Ma'am, you said that the Assam Accord was given on 1985, while the NRC was effective from 24th March 1971.
NRC, actually they gave a date, okay, which was like a cut-off date, because they realized that after this year only they have been seeing a huge increase in population, and that's why the date was a way back date, which was 1971. Okay? Okay, Adi?
Yes, ma'am, I said that.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I didn't hear. So I think too much dose हो गया है आज, बहुत सारे dates, right? And बहुत सारा criteria याद रखना है. So today we will just stop at this, and I will immediately send you the Rohingyas video. You watch that and again just revise the whole class. Don't get confused in dates. Read the Assam Accord, and if you find anything more interesting, you can just put a note into the group. Okay, so that others can also have a look into it and they can read and increase their knowledge. So I'm just stopping the class today and I'm sending the video. Do watch it and let me know your comments. Okay? Hello, bye people. Have a great evening. So we have just finished birth criteria, right? Because I don't want to confuse you further. There are 4 more criterias and 3 more for termination. So which we will be seeing in the next class. Chalo then, bye, take care.